What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys have seen the last video, you guys know that we got the 88 HFCRX sealed up. I also mentioned in the video that we had this dent that I wanted to take care of, and I spent all day yesterday doing so. The dent was right here, and I got it filled in twice, primed, sand the whole car down with 320. Shout out to you guys in the comment section. Somebody said 320 wet is equivalent to 400, so I didn't have to chase the 320 with 400. I went 320 wet last night with warm water, the whole car, the 2K primer. Everything's looking good, feeling good, and I had to remask the whole car as well too because the water kind of made the paper all soggy. So I just finished taping all of that. I got this side back up, and I'm about to set up this enclosure right there with fans that I just picked up from Home Depot. Some Lasco fans, 20-inch. I got two of them right here with filters. I got one that I'm about to set up right now, trying to figure out which way I'm going to put this filter. Do I want to put it in the back and keep this clean, or do I put it in the front and then paint gonna cake up on here? If you guys don't remember that fan was the one we used to paint my cousin's Toyota pickup truck, and the paint kind of caked up on the inside because we had the filter on the outside. Also went to Harbor Freight, picked up another 5000 lumens light. It is the same one that's on this end, and this right here helps brighten it up a little bit more, especially working at night in a paint booth. You guys want the lights to be on the sides as well too, so that way you can see where you're shooting on the side of the car. But because we're in the daylight with two lamps up, it's not really a big deal for me to see the sides that I'm shooting. I'm gonna throw one of my lights on the floor and just move it along while I'm painting the sides of the car. The top, very visible, I can see it clearly. So I'm gonna set up that side real quick, guys, show you a little walk around, mix some paint the car. Granted, I bought a tarp smaller than the width and the height of the ends, but we're able to make it work. So I got the filter on the back side of the fan hanging on top, one sitting on top of the trash can. The reason being is because this thing is sloped, so the tarp wouldn't cover up like the gaps like this right here. I had to use a different my floor mat to cover up that corner. And the fan is bridged into a switch, so I can just turn it on and off, but it's probably going to stay running. I'm not worried about this little gap right here. My goal is to have that fan push all the overspray that's going to bounce up to go out and aim up into the sky if there was any fumes that passes the filter. So I wanted to be up into the sky instead of to the car, but hopefully for the most part, right now that's on 1, so hopefully when I have that on 3, it'll just push everything through the filter because these guys are pulling. But yeah, I'm super pumped. This, guys, is my booth to paint a full car. This carport comes in clutch for a lot of different reasons. So the first thing I'm going to do is the base coat. So I got the base coat material laid out right here on the table, guys, and let me run through a little bit of what we're using today. First and foremost, a lot of people have been asking me about paint guns. I use a Harbor Freight like standard gun. This is like the cheapest one that they got. It's like $14.99 or something like that, and I have two of them. The reason why I have two of them is because I use one for base, one for clear. Now they are 1.4 tips, and I've had some decent good results with them. So if you guys want to get more thorough with like painting your car, you guys are looking for a really good quality paint job and stuff like that, look into tips, look into the right stuff, the right tools to achieve whatever it is that you guys are trying to achieve. I'm looking for a basic paint job. I've had some good results with these guys as mentioned, and I'm going to be using this guy with the Harbor Freight filter with the regulator down there at the bottom to regulate the pressure. I had to go to Home Depot to get the Husky spray gun filter kit because I couldn't find these guys separately. The paint shop had this, but I totally forgot because I thought I had a pack, but I didn't. So I'm going to be using these guys right here, these little filters for the inside of the gun. I have strainers right here, cup, mixing stick. I got Omni reducer, and I'm using Valspar base coat. I have Advantage waterborne surface cleaner. I read that you don't use wax and grease remover on primer because it actually removes it, so I'm going to use that to clean the surface before laying down the base coat. And I'm using that with just regular shop towels. I mean, it might give you lint, I don't know, but I use the air to help air out the surface while I'm wiping down to prevent whatever that leaves behind. The air will take it off. I don't know, it just has worked for me. The compressor that I'm using is a 23 gallon. I believe this is 23 gallons, and I need to air it up. It's already aired up. I used this compressor to paint my cousin's Toyota pickup truck, and it stayed on the whole time I needed to spray, and the air stayed like almost full during the whole spray job. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna allow me to shoot this car without stopping. Before that one, I had I think it was a 15-gallon tank, and that one I would have to stop periodically, but not a lot. I was still able to spray the whole car. I mean, back then when I was using Rust-Oleum, the 23-gallon should do the job. The paint booth cleared out in like 3 or 4 minutes, and it's not hazing in here anymore. That's awesome. So the only thing I'm worried about is the clear coat, because the clear coat really, it's thick and it lingers a lot more than base coat. So right now this is dried up and I'm about to mix up another batch right here to do the second, and hopefully we can do a third. I'm not sure yet. I got to make sure I have leftover paint for the bumper, otherwise I'm gonna have to go buy more paint. But I'm really not worried about the bumper right now. I'm more worried about the car, and it's looking freaking awesome. So let's get to mixing some paint and laying on some more layers. All right guys, so we just did the second and a half layer. I went a full coat around the whole car, and then whatever was left in the cup, I went over some of the edges and some of the areas I might have missed, like this back side right here. I didn't realize my fan pattern was still super wide when I was shooting the inside of this right here, and I caused some runs right here and right there. You can see it dripping out right there. I'm gonna have to wait until this is dried up completely, and then I'm gonna sand it down, and then I'm gonna mix probably half quart and go over, like I said, some of the areas I think I might have missed, like maybe a backside. Definitely gonna layer this back up right here. It's kind of hard to see because one, I forgot my light on the inside of the garage, and two, the blue is reflecting off of this, so I don't know what I'm spraying, you know what I mean? Like, I'm covering all the layers, but I don't know if it's bleeding through like the primer, the gray. But I'm gonna let this dry up so I can open up the garage so the fumes don't go inside, get the light, come back, check, see what I missed, and just skim coat it, and then we'll get ready for the clear coat. But right now this is looking awesome. It's 5:48. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes since we did the last coat, and I had some imperfections on the hood that I didn't know where it came from. I noticed it after the car was all dry. I was getting ready to do the clear coat, and then I noticed that there's a bunch of drips. I thought it was water because the cat jumped on here, but it was actually paint, and it might have came from when I was cleaning out the gun that it splashed out that way. So I had to repair it. I sanded it down and dabbed some paint, sanded it again, get it all nice and flat. This one right here was the most noticeable, but if it doesn't turn out all right after the clear coat, I got a carbon fiber hood. But I'm not gonna make any guesses now. I'm just gonna go ahead and clear it, see how it turns out. What I'm also doing is I figured I'm gonna clear coat the tail lights while we're here. It's already sanded down with 2000. I just taped up the trim that we're gonna be repainting black anyway, so I retaped just the edge of it. I don't care about the bottom side. But I'm gonna clear this while I'm clearing the car. So the clear that I'm using is Performer Series PS3250 European Universal Clear Coat. This is a 2-part to 1 mix. So it's 2-part clear coat, 1-part activator. This is the activator for this clear coat. This is much clearer than the Legacy clear that I used to use before. They don't carry it in-house anymore, but the Legacy had like a yellow tint to it. This is a little more clear. I'm gonna set this down to about 28, somewhere around there. My hand's gonna touch this and it's gonna change, but 28-ish. knob for paint all the way out, fan pattern all the way out. All right guys, next day here. Last night we got the car painted and I finished the last coat of clear at 7:30, and I was literally out here till about 10 o'clock with a propane heater, and I was making sure that the car was dry to the touch before I closed up for the night. And reason being is because the cats, their curiosity sometimes just messes things up. Came out this morning and they were definitely on the car, or at least Lucy was. You can see all the fur just chilling right here, and she was probably sniffing around. She probably jumped inside the car or something, I don't know. But I just want to say that this paint job turned out freaking awesome. It looks freaking awesome. I'll give you guys a little walk around here in just a second. But last night when the paint cured for a little bit, I went ahead and just demasked the whole car. Windshield, door, quarter glass, rear glass, hatch glass. I took all the tape off, and I just finished the rest of it this morning. Obviously you guys can see that the tarp is gone, and the one on the floor is gone as well too. I'm going to clean those up, let it dry, fold it up, put it away for a future need. But the car is probably going to sit right here for a little while. I want this paint to cure before I roll it back out over here and expose the back half to the elements, especially the cats jumping out from the top to the roof of the car. I don't want them to mess it up. I just want to say, first and foremost, I was not looking for a professional paint job. I was not looking for the best of the best. This is definitely not the best of my abilities, but sometimes you just got to work with what you got. Granted, my booth had a lot of like open edges, open areas. I didn't wet the tarp, or at least I didn't wet all of the tarp, and there was still a lot of dirt and stuff kind of chilling around. This wasn't wet. I was gonna expect some imperfections throughout the car, but after doing the base coat and fixing some of the spots that needed to be addressed, I thought, okay, clear coat is going to go super smooth. But again, you know, despite everything with the booth, something's going to get caked up in a clear coat, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, there are a lot of things caked up in a clear coat. So on this half of the car, when I was spraying it, I was working from the fan forward. I was doing this quarter panel, and then I worked up to the pillar to do the roof, and I didn't want to paint this yet because obviously I was leaning and everything, but the overspray had kind of made the door kind of tacky. So when I was leaning over to spray the roof, I had a lot of stuff in my pocket as well too. So a part of my sweatshirt lint is caked up inside the paint right there. I can feel it with my hands, so this can definitely be sanded out. That's one of it. The quarter is looking freaking awesome. Door is looking awesome. Fender is looking awesome. The only thing is, I might have not paid attention to it, but this bottom section of the fender is dry, although I did put a ton of clear on it. You can tell because the clarity is not clear like this. It's like rippled up a little bit, but that can be sand and polished out. The hood, I had mentioned while I was spraying it, the hood had some drips right here and right here that I had to sand out and then dab some paint on it and then sand it smooth. Same goes for some of the spots in the front. You can't really tell. To tell you the truth, you really can't see it, but this one you can. So I dabbed here, and I guess when I was sanding, I sand out of the imperfection, and I kind of took some paint off, so you can kind of see a little bit of the primer right there. But again, not looking for the most perfect paint job, and if I have to, if it really bothered me, I do have this carbon fiber hood chilling up here that just needs clear coat that I can always slap on, but I'm not jumping into conclusions just yet. This side of the fender, I talked about the overspray that I had. I think I did, but I have an overspray right here, and it's kind of dripping over the body line right there, but you can tell it is dried up. You can tell that this is a clear drip, and I can always sand that flat and then polish it out. Same goes for the hood right here. You can see that clear coat just gummed up right there. I can always sand that off, polish it out, no big deal. Down here, I didn't see this dirt. This is dirt, and I clear coated over freaking dirt. So that's I don't know when that was on there, but I don't know if I can sand and polish that out, but we're gonna try anyways. Throughout the car, she got little bugs right there, a little bug right there. Right here under the gas cap, we have some runs, but this is a smoother run, so I can literally just block that out, polish it out, no big deal. Quarter, I have a little run on the quarter, a little bit right there. Can't really see it, but yeah, there it is. That guy right there can be sanded out. The trunk has a lot of dust particles on it. You can feel it with your hands, but it is also, you know, where the fan sits, and the dirt starts here before it goes that way. So we have some dirt right here on the trunk lid. We do have dirt on the roof as well too, but like I said, when you put enough clear on it, you can flatten this out and polish it out. I wasn't really too concerned about it. All of my paint jobs that come out of the garage always ends up looking like this. That's a given. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, there are some freaking facial hairs everywhere. Yeah, one right there caked in the paint. You got one right there caked up on the paint. This one right here is a piece of hair, and I also saw one right there in a door that can be sanded out, but it is what it is, guys. At the end of the day, I'm super stoked, super happy about the paint job, and that's all that really matters. I'm gonna watch some videos on how to cut and polish a fresh paint job, and then I'll buy the materials accordingly, but we'll take care of that later because it's not my main concern right now. None of the moldings or window trims and stuff is going to go on the car until the car gets polished out, so that way the fresh stuff can go on instead of sanding around it, which could potentially be damaged during sanding. So all that's gonna wait. Now that the paint job itself is out of the way, we can finally start tearing down into the engine compartment and get the B16 out of here so we can start painting the engine bay as well too. Now I am going to leave the under the hood the original white because of all the stickers, so it's kind of nostalgic thing here, and you really can't tell. Once I clean the hood up, the underside of the hood up, it's really going to blend in. So we're going to take the engine out here soon, guys. We're going to paint this whole engine bay same color, polar white, and then we're just going to refresh everything here. That's about it for me today. I was really just chilling, but I wanted the car to be dry and kind of in the sunlight to kind of show you the car overall. But before we end this video, guys, I'm gonna open up some packages I just got. This right here is from REDZONERACE. This right here is for the tail light of the CRX. If you guys remember, when we removed the tail light, the old gasket was crusty and it literally just fell apart. So this tail light, I was talking about the clear having some sort of reaction, but after I let it dry and laid another probably like 3 coats of clear on this, it settled down. It settled like you can't even tell where that imperfection is at. If you really stare at it, it's right there in the corner and right here in the middle. That can be polished out. This ginormous box contains the new molding for the front windshield. So this windshield molding is for the CRX. This is the aftermarket OE style molding, and the reason why I say OE style is because of its design. If you look how it's thick and how it's stepped, right? The OE molding is 4-piece, I believe. So this kind of mimics the 4-piece look, but it's really not 4-piece. It's one whole molded piece. This is an aftermarket windshield. This is an aftermarket molding. If you look, it's just a flat piece of rubber that just goes along the trim and seals up however it's supposed to work. This guy looks like the OE, right? You can see what I'm talking about right there. See how the design differences. This is the same molding on my red car. You can see the design is exactly the same, but it's one piece and it's stepped up right here, just how you see it right there. This is a front lip for this car, but I'm going to show you how it looks on that car. This is a charge speed lip for an 88, 89 CRX. Now this is an 88. This is also an 88. They have the same bumper, so I'm going to show you how this looks on this car. And the reason why I bought this is because the HF lip is freaking painted, and that's going to be a pain to sand. So I wanted something a little more aggressive, so I bought this lip off of eBay. It's fairly cheap. I think it was like less than $100 or something like that. But let me show you guys here. The tape won't stick to that ABS plastic, but you guys get the idea of how it looks. It looks freaking aggressive, and I'm most definitely am going to paint the lip of that fresh trim to match the bumper once I paint them up. But this lip is for this car when we get the bumper done. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the new paint job on the 88 HF CRX. Now that we finally got this out of the way, like I mentioned earlier, we're gonna get down with the engine stuff, get it all torn down, get the engine bay painted. All that fun stuff is gonna come, guys. And I did get another package last Friday that I've been waiting for, and I think we're gonna open this one in another video. You guys could probably already tell what this is. It's from YouTube. If you guys enjoyed this huge progress on the 88H, it's a tongue twister. If you guys enjoyed today's progress on the 88 HF CRX, be sure to leave a thumbs up on this video. And if you guys want to stick around for all the shenanigans to follow here real soon, Be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.